They laughed the first time it happened. Not loud laughter. Not the kind that fills a room. Just quiet looks, smirks. The kind people think you don't notice. I noticed. I always noticed. I was standing in the break room holding a paper cup of burnt coffee listening to two coworkers argue about whose turn it was to present to the board, and someone said, "Well, at least we know it won't be him." Then they glanced at me, quick, careless, like I was furniture. I smiled because that's what I had learned to do. Smile, nod, stay small, you know what I mean? My name wasn't important to them. I was just the quiet guy. The one who typed fast, spoke slow, and never raised his voice. I'd been at that company for 3 years longer than most of them, but somehow still invisible. They thought quiet meant weak. They thought calm meant clueless. And I let them think that because pushing back felt dangerous when you've already been labeled. The thing is, I didn't start out invisible. I used to talk a lot. Back in school, I was the kid who answered questions who stayed after class to ask more. Then one day a teacher laughed when I got something wrong. The class joined in. Something shut off inside me. I learned that silence was safer. Over the years, silence became my armor. But armor gets heavy when you wear it too long. At work, my main opponent wasn't one person. It was a system, a culture that rewarded loud confidence over quiet competence. Still, there was one guy who made it personal. His name wasn't Mark or Jason or anything that matters now. Let's call him Cole. Cole had the kind of confidence that filled space. He talked over people, took credit, easily failed upward. Management loved him. He called it leadership. I called it noise. Every meeting was the same. I'd prepare notes, data solutions. Cole would interrupt halfway through my first sentence, then later repeat my idea louder, slower, like he'd invented it. People nodded. Someone would say, "Great point, Cole." I'd feel that familiar heat rise in my chest, then fade. I told myself it wasn't worth it. I told myself my time would come. Then came the project that changed everything. It was a big one. New client, huge budget, high visibility. The kind of project that could make a career or quietly end one. Management asked for volunteers to lead it. The room went still. I raised my hand. It surprised even me. Cole laughed, not even trying to hide it. "You," he said, smiling like he was doing me a favor. "This one needs someone who can handle pressure." I looked at him and felt something shift. Not anger exactly, more like clarity. I said calmly, "I can handle it." The manager hesitated, eyes flicking between us. Cole leaned back, confident. In the end, they compromised. Cole would be the face of the project. I'd handle the analysis. Support role. Again. I should have said no. Instead, I said okay, because part of me still believed that if I worked hard enough, someone would notice. For weeks, I lived inside that project. Late nights, early mornings. I built models, forecasts, contingency plans. I saw problems before they formed. I fixed them quietly. Cole showed up to meetings with slides I'd made, words I'd written. He stumbled through explanations, but no one challenged him. Why would they? He sounded confident. That was enough. The breaking point came during a rehearsal for the final presentation. The client team would be there in 2 days. We were running through the deck when Cole skipped an entire section. A critical one. I cleared my throat. "We should cover the risk mitigation slide," I said. Cole waved me off. "It's too detailed," he replied. "They don't care about that stuff." I knew he was wrong. I'd built that slide because the client had asked about risk in every single call. I tried again. "They do care. They asked specifically about supply chain volatility." Cole's smile tightened. "Relax," he said. "I've got this." 2 days later, in this real meeting, the client asked the exact question I'd warned about. Cole froze. Just for a second, but everyone saw it. He fumbled, spoke in circles, said nothing. The room got quiet. The client leaned forward. "Do you have data to support that?" he asked. I felt my heart pounding. This was the moment. The one I'd imagined, feared, rehearsed in my head 1,000 times. I could stay silent. Let Cole sink. Let the project fail. No one would blame me. or I could speak. I spoke. "I do," I said steady but loud enough. Every head turned. Cole looked at me like I'd broken an unspoken rule. I walked through the slide, explained the risk, the mitigation, the numbers. The client nodded, asked follow-ups. I answered. The tension eased. The meeting ended on time with handshakes and compliments. Afterward, in the hallway, Cole cornered me. "What was that?" he snapped. "You made me look bad." I looked at him, really looked at him, and said, "You didn't need my help to do that." It was the first sharp thing I'd ever said out loud. My hands were shaking, but my voice didn't. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. The next week, rumors started. That I was difficult. That I didn't respect hierarchy. That I was technically strong, but not a team player. The same words they always use. Management called me into a meeting. They smiled, spoke softly, asked if everything was okay. I said yes. That was my mistake. The real turning point came when the project results came in. The client renewed, expanded the contract, sent an email praising the work, mentioning me by name. Not Cole. Me. The email went to everyone. The office buzzed. Cole avoided my eyes. 2 days later, I was asked to present at the quarterly review, alone. Standing in that conference room facing the same people who'd ignored me, I felt the old fear creeping in. Then I remembered every moment I'd been dismissed, laughed at, talked over. I remembered that kid in the classroom, and I decided not to be him anymore. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't perform. I told the story of the project calmly, clearly taking responsibility for my work. I answered questions. When someone tried to interrupt, I paused, waited, then continued. The room listened. They had no choice. At the end, the director leaned back and said, "We should have had you leading this from the start." Cole stared at the table. After the meeting, people stopped me in the hallway. Compliments. Apologies, some real, some not. Cole approached last. He tried to joke it off. "Guess you showed us," he said. I smiled, not kindly, not cruelly, just honestly. I wasn't trying to show anyone anything, I replied. I was just doing my job. Here's the part that surprised me. Winning didn't feel like fireworks. It felt quiet, grounded, like exhaling after holding your breath for years. I didn't become loud overnight. I didn't turn into someone else. I just stopped shrinking. A month later, I was offered the lead on a new initiative. Bigger than the last. This time, no compromises. Cole transferred teams soon after. I don't know if he learned anything. That's not my concern. What I do know is this. Being underestimated can break you, or it can sharpen you. Silence can be armor, but it can also be a cage. The world doesn't always reward the loudest person in the room, but it does notice when the quiet one finally speaks. So let me ask you something. If you've ever been ignored, underestimated, talked over, what would you have done in my place? Was it right to wait, or should I have spoken up sooner? Is patience strength or just fear wearing a nicer face? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Argue with me if you want. And if you've got a story like this, tell it. Someone out there needs to hear it.